All right. I didn't intentionally bypass the intro tonight, but it'll do. It'll do. I'm a little late for the show today, just preparing a lot of things for tonight's show. Good evening, everybody. Want to give a shout out to everybody who is currently live. Show yourselves. Why is my login over there? Unbelievable. It's been one of those nights, everyone. It's been one of those nights, and trust me, it is not because of someone who thought they were getting under my skin. Not the case at all. Let me just fix this. There we go. That's a little bit better. I'm sorry for those with audio only. You know, this is Thursday night, and Thursday night is just casual. You know, Q&A, discussion, whatever we feel like talking about. We'll take some live calls in a few moments. Got to talk about the Keith Lee situation. Yeah, now it won't let me move anything else, but that's good enough. That's good enough. I mean, it's got to do for today. Boy, crazy day. Crazy day. I got to show you all something funny. Got to check this out. I did laundry earlier today. And me, I usually wash whites by themselves, and I put the colors by themselves. And this time around, one of the few times I decided to just throw everything in the washing machine, get it all done at the same time. You know, trying to conserve everything possible. Got a wedding in about 13 months, 12 and a half months. I took out my laundry today to put it in the dryer. And I was like, oh, no. Mr. Sacco. Mr. Sacco. I pulled it out of the dryer like this, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. It's one of those days. Mr. Sacco in the washing machine. And I was like, fuck. I put it aside, and I'm putting away my boxers, my shirts, my T-shirts, pants, and I only find one Hanes sock. And I'm looking everywhere for this one Hanes sock, because I'm sure a lot of you, when you do laundry, somehow things disappear magically. Usually I find my missing socks or missing boxer shorts, like crumbled inside my bed sheet, you know? But then it hit me. I'm like, no, don't tell me. This is how the day's been going. You see, Mr. Sacco? It's a regular Hanes sock. And the way it was folded, it looked like Mr. Sacco went in the washing machine. It was a regular Hanes sock. And I went nuts for about 20 minutes trying to find one goddamn sock, and it was this freaking Hanes sock the whole time. How's everybody doing tonight? Good night for all of you. Impact Wrestling, was browsing it while I was preparing for the show. Not a bad episode. I just don't know, what do they do to spike the ratings? I mean, you could have Jesus Christ go in the ring and wrestle. I don't know if they're going to do more than $120, $130. Like, there's no magic person out there. I know what you're going to say. CM Punk in the Impact Zone. I don't think so. They ain't sharing CM Punk, I don't think. They ain't sharing Daniel Bryan. It'd be shock if that happens. But, yeah, Kiera Hogan getting, I think, a match on Elevation yesterday. Dark match, you know, for AEW. Not bad. Not bad. Speaking of not bad, the AEW rating is in 979,000 viewers. I personally think that's a great number. Yes, it's down 123,000 viewers from last week. No Olympics. No Olympics. Now they're blaming it on MTV for the drop. MTV. Yeah, okay. All right. The Olympics was the last, 2 weeks? Didn't affect AEW's rating at all. You know what I think, though? That should be a little bit of concern? The drop in the women demographic. Now, I know what some of you are saying immediately. DT, you always said you don't pay attention to demographics. I don't give a shit about demographics. Me, I want an overall number. I want as many people tuning into my product as possible. But, when you see that women viewership 35 to 49 years old dropped 50%, half of the women that usually watch AEW, 35 to 49 was cut in half. 18 to 49 was down 34%. Men 35 to 49 was up 25%. NXT did a pretty damn good rating this week. That's weird. NXT's going up in numbers, but WWE killed it. They killed it. Now, yes, it's only 1 week, and yes, things could change. But, you know, the reason why I'm bringing up NXT's rating again, which we talked about yesterday, but I'll add this. Their biggest spike in viewership, breaking news, 35 to 49 years old, 25 to 54, older fans. Older fans seem to be getting a little bit turned off by AEW and enjoying NXT a little bit more. And again, I don't give a shit about demographics. I just care about the overall number. You think I want to see like extremely low numbers on my shows? Yes, 80% of all of you out there tune in with the audio only options. But, you know, you think I care if you got 21% drop? You know, if it's a small drop, oh, okay, you know, it's the climate. It's what we talk about. But if I see the overall number going down, that's where I'm concerned. You know, hey, can't get this group? Get this group. Problem is, you don't want to try to turn away anybody. Because what happens if you start turning off your creme de la creme as far as viewers go? Then what do you do? What do you go for? What do you do? So that's something to pay attention to. I don't buy MTV. I don't buy Olympics. I don't buy any of that. So anyway, as I've been saying all week, and I want to just mention it here, is that, you know, it's not bad news, but the shows are getting a little bit shorter. The days of 2.5, 3.5 hours, unless it's WrestleMania, unless there's a tragedy, unless it's something freaking huge, you know, those days have to be put aside for a little while. Because last week I got super, super sick. You might remember last Thursday, remember on the show? I don't know. I don't feel good. My throat's killing me. Remember, it's swollen closed. I couldn't even talk Friday. I had to take antibiotics all weekend, Z-Pack. And by Sunday, after sleeping maybe 10 hours, Friday night and Saturday night, I felt great. And my doctor told me this about 6 months ago. He says, Anthony, he says, you got to get sleep. You can't live on 2, 3, 4 hours sleep a night anymore. You're hitting your 50s. I don't care how much weight you lose. I don't care that you don't smoke. I don't care that you don't drink. I can't get a stroke. So I want to keep doing these shows almost every day, but we got to tighten the ship a little bit. So I'm pretty proud that Monday, Tuesday's Patreon, and yesterday, all the shows for the week so far cut back about 45 minutes a piece per episode. So tonight we're probably going to stick around 90 minutes, 2 hours at the latest. By midnight Eastern Standard tonight, I hope to be asleep, which means we'll be taking calls very, very shortly. So if you want to call in, whatever's on your mind, let's talk about it. We'll do the contest. Check it out. I haven't opened it up yet. Somebody's going to win this tonight. The Bray Wyatt Foco bobblehead just came out. Should we open it? Should we open it? Now, whoever gets this, you know, yes, I opened it. But I got 2 of these. We're giving away one tonight, and I think next Monday we're giving away another one. So I got some pretty cool stuff on the horizon. So, you know, nice size. It just came out. Styrofoam everywhere. That's not good. Let's check this out. Oh, there's freaking Scotch tape. No, okay, it's all right. It's not too bad. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Somebody's going to win. Oh, okay. It's not plastic. Wow. Okay, I'm pretty impressed here. The bobblehead is smaller. I'll tell you the truth. I got to get one for myself. because I just picture it. It's perfect. It's perfect. I don't want to screw up the box. Somebody that wins it might want to keep the box sealed. But, you know, we're going to pull a winner tonight. And remember, you have to go in the chat room and say, I'm here to claim my prize. If nobody claims the prize within 5 minutes, then we do another person. And that's not to be a jerk. I mean, yes, on Monday, we give people till the end of the show, which is like a half an hour. But here, Thursdays, it's much more intimate. I mean, the fact of the matter is, a lot of people tune in. They want to hear news, gossip. Q&As is not for everybody. Yes, we're going to talk about Keith Lee today. Oh, I have a lot to say about that. We also have to give some congratulations to the Gargano family. But check it out. Check it out. Oh, I don't want to take this off, but this is supposed to protect the head so the head doesn't break, you know, because it is a bobblehead. You see down here this hook? All right. This comes with it, too. I tell you, I'm pretty freaking impressed. It's ceramic. I honestly thought this thing was going to be bigger, but I also thought it was going to be plastic. Look at that. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So what you do is you take the screw off and you put it here, and then you screw it from underneath. There you go. I know the color is not all that great. Here, actually, here. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. That's what it is. So I tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised. I honestly thought that this was plastic. It's like really, really cool. They just came out. They just came out. I got my hands on 2 of them. Thank you to a special someone. And this, look at that. That's pretty fucking sweet. I like the lights on the top. It's the WrestleMania theme. So someone's going to win that tonight. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hopefully I don't drop it. I'll package it up later. Trust me. You don't have to worry about me. I just want to put this into plastic so I don't lose it. So we will put this over here. He's good. He's good. But yeah, I got to get one. It's going right there. It's going right there, man. Yes, thank you, Crazy Cruiserweight, and thank you, everybody. Everybody corrected me yesterday. I don't know why I had Hugo Savinovich on my brain. It was Willie Urbina that was let go from AEW for the Sheeta remark. Do Sheeta. Remember that? It was Willie Urbina. But you see, that's what's cool about Crazy Cruiserweight, and that's what's cool about all of you out there that corrected me. I don't mind if you correct me. If you disagree with me, speak out. That's class. And you'll always have my respect when you do that. When you want to be an asshole, that's where you fuck it up for yourself. Now, I think this person thought that I was just going to quietly shadow ban him, remove him from Discord, and just not even bring it up. But I am going to bring it up. And I tell you, I'm not going to make fun of the guy, but I got to be totally honest with you. If you want a good example, and please, chat room, I don't think you should say anything derogatory, because then you're just giving ammunition to this guy to go after you. And look, if he's listening, and I know he's watching, you want to email me, dontony@dontony.com, and, you want to apologize. I'm a big boy. I am an asshole too. There's no question. But, I want to share this with everyone just to show you some of the crap that goes on. I always talk about how there's people out there that smiled to my face and was talking mad shit behind my back, some outrageous stuff. And honestly, after doing this for almost 25 years now, I'm tired of it. You want to tell me I suck, and you want to tell me that the shows are terrible, and you want to, say, fine, no problem. When you make fun of my fiance, you want to take personal shots at me, you want to accuse me of shit, you want to throw some stuff out there, no problem. Those are rats. Rats are not just snitchers. People think that, he told on someone, he's a rat. No. Rats are rodents. No matter how cute they look, they're still rodents. And rats don't have to snitch. Rats are rats. There's someone that you all used to hang out with in the chat room. He went by the name of Pac-Man. Remember Pac-Man in the chat? Well, he was on our Discord channel, the original Discord channel. And he went under the name Max Caster's. Oh, no, he was, hold on, let me just pull it up. Max Caster Snowflake Slayer. He basically goes after the snowflakes, you know, that can't handle like what Max Caster said. Now, if you heard what I said yesterday and last week, you know, I don't think Max Caster should be suspended. I think other people need to take responsibility and not make the babe in the woods excuse. So keep in mind this guy's login name, Max Caster Snowflake Slayer. Okay. I use the term goofs a lot. Sometimes I say it in love. There's a guy on a Discord called CM fucking Goof. I called him a goof once, nothing personal. You know, sometimes somebody says thing, I call him a goof. I'm a goof. I've said it 1,000 times over the years. I am a goof also. Absolutely, I'm a goof. Did you see me yesterday? Yo. You don't think I was a goof? Of course I was. Max Caster, Snowflake Slayer, I didn't realize it was him. But you might remember when I was talking and I said that some goof in Discord said that I have a war with people online. Yesterday, remember my rant yesterday? I don't give a shit about anybody online. But I said, you know, this goof on Discord said that I'm at a war with people online. Well, check out this guy's response. Don Tony, I didn't say you had a war with people online. I said you had a crusade and an agenda against people online with the 15-minute promo each show. I actually play Don Tony Bingo every time you say tweet or eat, people only, some podcaster, negativity online, or my favorite, Deli Man was the last person you saw in Thunderdome. I do a cool bingo sequence. Also, the guy that was fired from AEW was not Hugo Savinovich. It was Willie Urbina. Okay, no problem. I could take that so far. Here's where it goes downhill. Not sure if all Mexicans look the same to you, but different people. So because I mixed up Willie Urbina with Hugo Savinovich, I'm bundling Mexicans all together. He then goes on to say, thank you for calling me a goof. I'd rather be a goof than a racist that is on a redemption tour with giving away prizes to other people and known for the weekly main event results segment. Very prestigious. Oh, and I know a band is coming. People can only say what they want if they sponsor you. That is a rat. That guy was pretty cool in the chat room with all of you. That guy was pretty cool on Discord. But sometimes when you have rats, you got to sprinkle a little cheese on the floor. When the rats think that they found a new home to infiltrate and pollute, sometimes you got to put some cheese down. And me, and I mentioned this in Discord earlier, and this is one little personal truth about me. I don't have mice here. I had one about a year and a half ago. I think I posted a picture. I can't put mouse traps down. I dated somebody once before that had a mice problem, and she had mouse traps all around the house, and I heard the snap and I heard the squeal, and I cried. I got so teary-eyed. I can't see a mouse get in a mouse trap, electrocuted, whatever they do. I did it humane. I put the glue trap down. Now, sure, it's fucked up. A mouse is in glue. That's it. But I just can't do that. But when these people think that they can pollute a house, then it's time to throw down some cheese and catch some rats. There's a lot of people that like to talk a lot of stuff online. You want to criticize me for things I say, fine. You don't like that somebody in WWE, did a cool thing for me for all the years of entertainment and got me not only in Thunderdome, but put me front, close, and center as the last image you see forever on Thunderdome. That's pretty fucking cool to me. When the Keith Lee stuff came out today, I got a wonderful DM from someone, and I'm not going to say who it is, that said, I remember all the things that you said for months and months and months, that it was medical, that people are jumping the gun. Do you remember? Petridge Farm remembers back in February. The reason why Keith Lee was pulled from the Elimination Chamber is so they could have a one-on-one match, and Lashley could go with this and this and that. The motherfucker had COVID in January, came back for one match in February of 2021, took on Riddle, and then the next day his blood work came back that something was wrong. From the complications of COVID, he had a serious heart condition, life or death heart condition. Couldn't work out, couldn't ride a bike, couldn't do anything to raise his blood pressure. Do you remember when he took on Karrion Kross and beat him recently? Do you remember that night what I said on the show? I said, something looks a little weird about Keith Lee. If you look at his complexion, it said it looked like blood was racing up to it. I don't know if there's any circulatory issues still. But all those months, you see these people online doing this, saying this, blaming this, saying this, saying this. And it was not appropriate for anybody other than Keith Lee to come out and say it if he wanted to say it. Mia Yim got COVID too. The reason why Mia Yim got COVID and missed the Royal Rumble is because not she was being careless, not because somebody in WWE, remember the super spreader claims that was going around online? No. She insisted to take care of the guy that she absolutely loves. Oh, that's another couple episodes. Wrong picture. There you go. She said, I don't give a shit that you have COVID. I'm taking care of you. The guy, life or death situation, couldn't do anything physical because they were so concerned about the inflammation in his heart. She insisted on taking care of Keith Lee anyway, and she got COVID from it. All that crap that you heard since January was wrong. Was wrong. Now, let me just get back to finish this guy. I got a DM earlier today saying, I know what you said for all these months. Very, very cool. Somebody posted something public earlier today. Not bragging. Feels good when people actually take notice of who's saying what. So if I want to be a little kid again and talk about the Thunderdome stuff, that right now I have a wrestling company reviewing my resume about working for them part-time. Good shit here, I will never, ever feel guilty of, and I'll say it 1,000 times. But this is what goes on, everyone. This is a guy that called himself Max Caster Snowflake Slayer. And because I called him a goof, accusing me of being racist, that I'm on a redemption tour, that I just give away prizes and this and that, making fun of Crazy Cruiserweight giving us main event results. This is what you have out there. This is what I talk about on a lot of shows with social media. This is the climate, period. Now me, I could be a bigger person because I am an asshole also. The guy wants to say, look, I got a little pissed off and, I apologize, this and that. I ain't going to post his apology and brag or anything like that. I'll unban him. I don't care. But this is what I talk about. That's what I talk about. That's what I talk about. For someone that tunes into all my shows, for someone that hung out with you in the chat room all those times, for someone that frequents a Discord that I own half of, that Mish did most of the work, no doubt. But that Discord is half mine. No, nobody's buying me out. I'll microwave it before I do that. And no, I'm not doing that. I would not screw everybody up. My point is that, people like to keep quiet and enjoy stuff. And then the little thing gets told their way and they just lose it. Ridiculous, right? Whatever. So let's get back to Keith Lee. Keith Lee today posted a YouTube video. Yes, they're allowed to post YouTube videos. He originally made, I think, like a 13-minute clip. It went too long. He redid it again. It was 7 or 8 minutes. And he told everybody the truth. And I tell you, in Mission I said for the last 5 months, God bless Keith Lee, but also God bless me and him. Remember all the bullshit in February where everybody was accusing me and him of giving Keith Lee COVID. Petridge Farm remembers. All the people that insisted that it was WWE keeping Keith Lee off of TV all these months. Pepperidge Farm remembers that it was all wrong. And I know on these shows here, at least 10 times over the last 6 months, people were asking, can you tell us what's up? And look, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be straight up with everybody here. I did not know how serious the inflammation was. I had no idea that it was that serious. No idea. I know that there was complications from COVID, plus it's mental stress too. Back in January, and I know some of you saw the picture, I had it up for a very short period of time, but back in January, my father, who is a triple degree black belt, every time you've seen pictures of him, he's in tip-top, unbelievable shape. My father went for a stress test. He was fine. Went for a stress test. And we got a phone call that they had to lay him on the floor and give him some type of smelling salts or something else that he almost passed out. And they found that there was something wrong with the Widowmaker. If you don't know what the Widowmaker is, it's not just Barry Windham. Look it up. So we thought that they were going to just put 2 stents in his heart. What they ended up doing was they ended up cutting him from here all the way down to his belly button. And he had to get major heart surgery. They took veins from his leg and put it in his chest. And my father, when I picked him up from the hospital, I was so freaking ecstatic that not only that he was coming home after whatever days he was in the hospital, but I got to pick him up. I posted a picture on social media. Not only did the usual suspects ignore it, but 2 people said some really fucked up shit on DM that people gave to me. The only reason why I never made it public is because I've said it before. There's some people on social media that I honestly will not take a chance of exposing and ruining people. And then if social media is all they got to keep them happy, that they do something terrible to themselves or someone else, I will not be responsible for that. So I turn a blind eye. But when my father is cut from here to here, and it's that serious, it really just screws you up. And when my father, about a month after this happened, he had his shirt off. The scar looked a little bit better. I said, Dad, you look pretty good. I said, you can't even really see it all that much. Yeah, I was exaggerating. I wanted to make my father feel good. You know what my father said? And this has to do with Keith Lee. I said, how do you feel? He says, I'm still tired, a little weak and this and that. He says, but this hurts 1,000,000 times more than his body. He said, you don't know what it's like to go on the operating table and right before they put you under, you don't know if you're going to wake up. Look up what happens with the Widowmaker. They call it the Widowmaker because when that artery is clogged and you get a heart attack, there's a majority of a chance that someone is going to be a widow. My father said, do you know what it's like? We don't know what it's like. My father said that the emotional trauma of thinking that he was going to die from it is what rattles his brain more than anything else. And now I'm convinced the reason why he still insists on working his ass off every single day, even though the doctor's telling him no, It's not because he doesn't know anything different, but because he wants to keep his mind off the fact he still thinks that he's going to drop any day because he doesn't feel comfortable. He's got veins from his leg in his heart. And I'm going to give a shit about people online? Are you fucking kidding me? So now we go to Keith Lee. Keith Lee, professional wrestler, big man. You hear about comorbidities. You hear about people who are heavy getting COVID, serious complications. And then the guy, a day after his match with Riddle, is given blood work results, and they find out that there's something seriously wrong with his heart and inflammation to the point where he can't even light exercise. That's it. Imagine waking up and knowing that your heart is fucked up. Imagine going throughout each day and going to sleep at night and wondering, am I going to wake up the next day? Imagine going through everything that he went through, and Mia Yim insisted, I'm taking care of you. I don't care if I get sick. I'm taking care of you. And she got COVID. She didn't give him COVID. That woman is an angel. She's fabulous. Now, no, it's not based on someone taking care of someone because they got COVID. Trust me, if I got COVID, I would insist that nobody help me because I wouldn't want to get them sick. But when it's life or death to a point, you put that all aside. So Keith Lee, God bless that man that he's doing better. The thing is, this is what people really need to understand. This is why you got to be so careful sometimes of what you say. You realize that for 6-7 months, there was nothing but bullshit being thrown online about Keith Lee. Now, the way he was used and misused before this happened, yeah, I totally agree with everybody out there. Keith Lee, since he's been on the main roster before he got sick, WWE did a terrible job pushing him. I don't deny that. I'm talking about just the last 6 months. Everything that was online about him, everything that was online about her was wrong. The only thing they got right was that Mia Yim got COVID and couldn't be in the Royal Rumble. That's the only thing they got right. But even that, they said she gave it to Keith Lee. That guy, to this day, right now, and this is what I was going to say before, you hear on the news that eventually the government is going to force teachers, government employees, and other places that they have to be vaccinated to keep their job, or they have to be tested regularly. Define regularly for me. They have to be tested every day. When they walk in, they have to get tested every day. What does regularly mean? You think Keith Lee is undergoing a test every single day, an MRI? And he even talks about it, that he doesn't fit in the machines. He doesn't fit in the machines. Lord knows how far he had to travel to go in a machine that could fit him. Yes, they do make extra large machines, but they're not all that easy to be accessible. And even if he can fit in the machine, could you imagine how claustrophobic that is? I had a panic attack a couple of years ago. I talked about it on the shows. I had a panic attack. My doctor prescribed me a Valium. Half hour before I went and had my MRI or CAT scan, I popped the Valium. I fell asleep during the test. But imagine even now, he had a match with Karrion Kross, got a win. Is that loss to Karrion Kross that big of a deal now? Does it sound that way? How could they have the NXT champion lose to Keith Lee? This is why people got to really stop that shit, man. I posted a link on Twitter earlier today about the fake news in February. Well, you know what, Harris B., please do not misconstrue everyone what I'm about to say. Dominic DeNucci just passed away. Very beloved in this community. He's a Goomba. He's an Italiano. You know, back in the day, Italians adored Dominic DeNucci, Bruno Sammartino, and a few others. Dominic DeNucci trained a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of people come out of the woodwork and pay tribute to Dominic DeNucci. But what I was going to just say, do not misconstrue me, he lived a long life. He lived a long life. At some point, we all go. I'm going to die. You're going to die. We just don't know when. We don't know when our friends are going to pass. My best friend, even though I lost touch with him for the last couple of years, because he became a crackhead. Became a crackhead. He died 2 years ago. They sprinkled his ashes in Jamaica Bay. Best friend. When I show you eventually that camping tape, that montage, the best of, that's 25 years old, you'll see him. You'll see him. But you never know when someone is going to go. That's why you got to really, I know this sounds so, PC, but you got to really cherish the friends you have, the family you have. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. And I hate saying stuff like that because there's been a few people online in recent years that tweeted something like, tomorrow's never guaranteed, and then they died the next day. You've seen that a couple of times in wrestling. That gentleman from the UK, who's the one that died, Lionheart? He died like a couple of years ago. And he posted some cryptic comment. As far as I know, he wasn't seriously ill. Just, do not take your friends and family for granted. Because tomorrow's never guaranteed. Boom, done, gone. So Dominic DeNucci, rest in peace. Lived a very long life. I hope I could live as long as Dominic DeNucci. But, you'll see a lot of tributes. I do not doubt that a lot of you out there have never seen a Dominic DeNucci match. When I became a wrestling fan in '79, Dominic DeNucci was pretty much done. He had matches still, but nowhere on the level of what he did back in the 60s and the 70s. My grandmother was a big fan of Dominic DeNucci because she was Italian also. I know that in 2021, that could be interpreted wrong, but it's a pride factor. It's a pride factor. Bruno Sammartino, oh my God. He was an Italian hero. Hero. Didn't they name a town after him in Italy? I mean, it's not racist, if you're proud. Look at Kofi. Kofi goes back to his country, and he is like God over there. Why? Because they're proud of one of their own being, that is a superhero. He is. Role model, awesome, awesome, awesome person. You be proud. Be proud. It's when people start saying that one nationality or one is better than the other, that's where people end up wrong. But Keith Lee, I said it for 6 months when people kept asking me here. I said, look, I don't know all the details, but from what I was told, it is medical and emotional, nothing else. And if Keith Lee wants to make it public, he should be the one to make it public. I didn't know to the extent of how serious it was, the COVID complications. But never once did you ever hear out of my mouth, never once did you hear out of Mish's mouth that she gave Keith Lee COVID or this or that he was off to. No, never once. Again, why is it that, and I'm not trying to say we're better than others, but I want to make the one point. Why is it that we're always 99% correct, and yet everyone else, for the most part, gets it wrong? I mean, I posted a link, and this is what I was going to say moments ago. I posted a link on my Twitter tonight, and it's an article from February, and they wrote in capital letters the real reason why Keith Lee was pulled from Elimination Chamber. Not just the reason. They wrote real reason and capitalized it. And people wonder why I talk about that. Like I said, you know, I don't have any crusade with anybody online. You think I'm that stupid? I ain't winning that crusade if I wanted to go there. 90% of what you read online is wrong. Unless it's public knowledge, 90% of it is wrong. I'm going to go on a crusade. You think all these wrestling news websites and podcasts are going to turn around and say, you know, he's right. We got to do diligence a little bit more. You know, I don't want to be first. I want to be right. No. They just want as much attention as possible. So when you see the Max Caster thing, I don't think people, you know, because Keith Lee being pulled from Elimination Chamber, people forgot about. They totally forgot about it. When you start looking back the last 6-7 months and how many articles were 1,000% wrong about the Keith Lee situation, you then understand why we have these conversations. And I tell you, I don't know how Keith Lee and Mia Yim could just keep quiet during all that. And I would not be surprised if Keith Lee was hardly online at all. The guy's got a fucked up heart for months, inflammation. You would think, you know, all right, go on social media. We miss you. We don't care about you. No. Wrong article. Accusation of Mia Yim. She gave him COVID. She got tremendous hate. Some really racist stuff thrown her way, and it was all wrong. Don't you think that kind of like elevates your blood pressure just from seeing that stuff? You get sick of it. So thank God he is doing better. Hopefully he doesn't suffer any complications. And not only God bless him, but God bless me. Awesome woman to do that for the love of her life. I have not used the webcam, Lee. I can't even find a second to breathe, to be honest with you. I mean, I got sick last week, and I work 8 hours a day in my insurance office. Then I come home, do laundry, eat dinner, talk to my fiance, talk to my parents, prepare for the shows, finish the shows, go to sleep, get up 6:30 in the morning, take a shower, go to my office, and it's rinse and repeat. It's still in the box over here. I haven't had a chance to take it out, so we can take them off the screen. But, you know, one day soon. You know, a lot of people think that I ignore them online, but, you know, I don't even get a day to breathe. I don't mind. I enjoy doing this stuff, but unfortunately, some things end up taking a little bit longer. So, anyway, let's talk about the Garganos. Then we'll take calls. Let's talk about the Garganos. Congrats to Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Just think about all those comments last week, blaming Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa for the decline in NXT. Talk about just not aging well. All that disrespect to Gargano last week. Everybody is silent from that pack today. They are going to have their first child in February of 2022. Candice LeRae is pregnant. So and I thought this was cool too. Baby wrestling coming February 2022. That's beautiful news, man. I tell you, seriously, no secret on these shows, my appreciation for both. I enjoy their work. I just typed a couple of days ago that the way their stuff is one of the most entertaining things for me. So I am legitimately happy for both of them. You know, best wishes, God bless, and, you know, they're going to have their first child. So, and the reason why I have the chat room still going right now is so all of you that want to, you profess your love and appreciation to Keith Lee or the Garganos, you know, you're not forced to say it because you mean it, but wonderful news. wonderful news. They're going to have their first child. And this is why, like I say, be a wrestling fan, enjoy yourself, hang out, talk to each other online, do the things that make you happy, and stay away from the negative stuff. The negative stuff, most of it is wrong. All it does is bring you down. And you know what's weird about it? While all that negative stuff is being thrown out there, you got Mia Yim acting like Mother Teresa to Keith Lee, and I say that as a compliment. While all that negative hate is going on, Keith Lee is fighting pretty much for his life. No bullshit. More's going to come out from that. While they're doing that, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are doing the nasty, and now they're going to be parents. That's why I say, if you enjoy yourself and you have fun and you avoid that negativity as much as possible, you'll realize not only how much happier you'll be, but positive vibes, positive tribes, is that how it goes? But good things happen as a result. So it's very tempting, and then you got the weird people out there. The weird people that'll say all this outrageous shit. And then at the end, oh no, it was nothing personal. At the end of the day, just ecstatic for the Garganos. So weird people that do that. You know what I'm talking about too. But congrats to both of them. They're going to be new parents. Awesome news, awesome news. So, by the way, people got a good laugh yesterday out of that rap that I did. These are the lyrics. Goose with bad sources. You should have waited. You premature ejaculated. Max is just a character. You're grief-stricken. You want the cornet fired over a bucket of chicken. You think it's cause of woke? Then take a toke. AEW's hustling you. They're in the joke. Soon you'll see the truth about the biz. Be prepared to wipe off that all-elite jizz. Oh. It took me about 5 minutes to write that up. In fact, this morning, I think it was Anna who said to me, hey, when are you ever going to do verse 2 of David Otunga? Remember, they say it's mean to say you're green, but you gots to leave WWE. You're not fit to be this shit, so stay at home and make my grits. So, literally, 90 seconds after she wrote that this morning, I wrote this. I don't know it by heart yet. I know you've waited, anticipated. A second verse so could it would be PSA rated. But Otunga's gone. We have to search beyond. Who should be the next one for me to give the gong? So let me know if you want anybody specific you want me to rap about. Believe it or not, those are all my notes for today. Easy show, right? Easy show. Yeah, some of the things I said back then I'm not proud of. I don't hide from it. I kind of actually proud that I have evolved and changed my views on a lot of things over the years. When I write in my profile, listening, evolving, there's no redemption tour. That's why, like that guy earlier, look, I get the deal. People will say the things that they think will upset you the most. I know that's not an excuse, but I've brought this up before. And this is a little controversial because a lot of people out there wouldn't dare say what I'm about to say. When I was a lot younger, talking in my teens and even early 20s, if you got into an argument with someone in a club, especially these Jersey Shore looking rejects. Trust me, we were Jersey Shore before there was Jersey Shore. You've seen pictures of me from the late 80s wearing the tank top with the jewelry, the fuzzy dice doing the linguini lean in the car. You've seen it. But when you got into arguments with muscleheads in a club, a lot of people, including me back in the day, would use the F word. And the reason why Kurtman 360 LY. I know it's a little off view because I have the other template for that, the alerts, but that's why it's a little off view. We'll go back to the other template in a second. But back then, a lot of people would say the F word, and I would definitely have said it too. But the thing is, we didn't say it because we hated people who were gay. The reason why people said it that I know of, including me, is because if you saw someone and you wanted to give them the ultimate insult, you think whatever comes to your mind that you think will hurt their feelings more than anything else. Good example. Back then, I was over 300 pounds. And I can't tell you how many times, you know, if I got into a little verbal skirmish with someone, you know, they'll say something like, why don't you do something about it, fatso? Why don't you do something about it, blimpy? Why don't you do something about it, fatso? In front of tons of people. Because to them, that was going to be the ultimate hurt my feelings. So you got a Jersey Shore, muscle-bound freak, you know, jacked up like this in a club, and he's trying to pick up every woman alive, and you're trying to come up with something that's going to hurt his feelings the most, that would be the go-to. It's wrong. It's wrong. And again, when you're naive 30 years ago doing that, you think you have a logical explanation as to why, but as you get older, you realize, like, there's no justification for saying that, period. And that's why in the 24 years of me doing shows, you never hear me say words like, even people that pissed me off back in the day. So anyway. But yeah, no, Breakfast with Blassie was fun, you know, but you evolve from it. You know, I mean, I just try to be straight up authentic. Sure, you know, you could say things and, you know, act a certain way, you know, be a little more of a character than anything else, but I'd rather just be straight up with everyone. If that's boring for some people, they don't have to tune in. Nobody's forced to tune into my stuff. But again, to that guy, you know, like I said, you want to email me? Cool. You know, I don't know. Anyway, so tonight we're giving away that Bray Wyatt bobblehead. Now, remember the rules. Last week's show, all you had to do was post a comment. And then what I'm going to do in a couple of moments is I am going to put something on the screen, and it's live, and it's going to randomly select someone's comment from last week's show. All that person has to do is go in the chat room in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, will be nice, and just type, I claim my prize. Trust me, we know the avatars for everyone, so you can't create a fake profile and claim your prize. Trust me, it doesn't work. So if that person is not live with us tonight and they don't claim the prize within 5 or 10 minutes, then we will pick someone else's comment. I felt bad for Nero Fay a couple of weeks ago. He fell asleep and he got picked. There's too many people that participate in the contest. It's not fair to them. I wanted to give him the prize so bad, even though it kind of sucked to ship it all the way to Israel, but still, it would have been cool. But rules are rules. So now, what are we going to give away next week? Now, we're going to do the comment contest one more week. I'm not being lazy, but let's do it one more week. And then next week, we'll bring back the Who Dat, Who Am I? We'll do some music trivia, wrestling theme music trivia, and we'll have a lot of fun. What are we gonna give away next week? Well, I was looking at my Bray Wyatt collection earlier, since everybody is really saying, you know, Bray Wyatt. I thought about, you know what? Let's give away this. I think that's pretty rare. I could see some of you in that. What do you think? Should we give that away next week? Any of you out there? Would you wear it? Would you take a picture of it? That is a mannequin, by the way. That is not a real person. No, I do not really own that. But I was checking out on eBay today. This is why that's even there. I was checking out on eBay today to see how much these Bray Wyatt collector boxes are going for. Now with him being gone, I expected the price to skyrocket, and they're like $200 a box now. So someone tonight is going to win something that's about $250 on eBay. And somebody was selling that. And I said, oh my God, I should buy that just as a joke. And show it to my fiance. Say, would you wear that? She would not wear that. I don't want to get too personal. One thing I absolutely love about my fiance, she's a tomboy. And she loves wrestling. Rarely ever wears makeup. She likes sports. And, she's just casual as can be. She wears pantsuits. We go out. She doesn't try to dress to reveal. But I bought her, I might be revealing a little too much, but I bought her negligee within the first year of us dating. This October, it'll be 9 years. I bought her negligee probably 6 months after we started dating. She put it on and she felt so freaking uncomfortable. I felt so bad and never ever wore something like that ever again. Never. No sexy outfits, no negligees, no nothing. T-shirts and shorts. That's it. Yeah, that is legit. So anyway, so what are we really giving away next week? And look, we're going to get off the Bray Wyatt kick after next week for a little while. Obviously, maybe a little preference for me because Bray Wyatt was my favorite wrestler. He's not dead. He could come back, and I still think he may come back to the WWE before WrestleMania next year. I really do. I really think that. And if it ends up being right, no, I didn't break news. It's just the way I feel inside. But since a lot of you out there really enjoyed Bray Wyatt as well, and because I have so many of these collector boxes, I know some of you out there would really enjoy them. And even if you don't, put it on eBay and get $250 for it. Enjoy it. Do whatever you want with it. One thing I promise you is that anything I give away on these shows is not hand-me-downs. It's not used stuff and me putting it back in plastic. So next week, since we haven't given one away yet, we're going to give this one away. This is the holiday Bray Wyatt box. That is what it looks like. The Ramblin' Rabbit. And if I zoom in a little bit, you remember the jar of Ramblin' Rabbit, jam? Yep, that is the one. You get the little figures in there. You get the clown nose. You get the inflatable, mallet, whatever that is. Everything you see. And you get a shirt, too. The shirt is size XL. I do have a 2XL somewhere, but I have so many boxes in my office, I still got to go through it. Chris, do I drink a lot of caffeine? I usually have a cup of coffee in the morning, and I'll have a cup of coffee in the afternoon. I don't really, the only other caffeine I think I have is chocolate. I have chocolate that's safe for keto, but I'm not kidding. This is not pandering to all of you out there, but I can't tell you how many times, no BS. Yesterday I did it. Monday I certainly did it. I'm not being rude. Right before I go live, about a half hour before, I'm yawning. I'm tired. Trying to convince myself, DT, you could take an impromptu day off. Just tell them your computer's fucked up like everybody else. Sorry, everyone, my internet is not working. Now, in the case of Mish's excuse 2 weeks ago, it was legit. Chicago was all fucked up. But a lot of people out there, oh, my computer won't turn on. Oh, I got this, I got that, right before they do a show. Because those are people, honestly, that are just saying, I'm just not in the mood. But they think if they tell you that, wow, he don't give a shit about, or she don't give a shit about us. Fuck that show. So people make these excuses. Oh, I got a medical emergency. It happens. It happens. So anyway, I've never opened this box, this particular one. I don't want to screw it up. Okay. there's the shirt. I've never taken anything out of this box. Look, it's all sealed. All of it. All sealed. First time I opened this one. So someone is going to win this. Now, how do you participate? Very simple. After the show is done tonight, just post a comment in the comment section. Next week, we will pick someone random, and then you have 5 minutes to claim your prize. 10 minutes, whatever it is. And if you're not around next week and you don't claim it, someone else will win it. And then next week or the week after, we'll do the whoever. Actually, if we do a Who Dat contest next week, we'd have to give a prize next week. Because if you win, so you actually could have 2 contests next week. And sorry, Max Caster, Snowflake Slayer, I don't do contests as a redemption tour. I do it as a way of giving back. And also, when I do my taxes at the end of the year, and I've said this before, when you give away certain things of value, you can deduct it as tax write-offs. And that was the mistake I made with Patreon a couple of years ago. Nobody gives a shit about this. But when everybody on Patreon wants their money under the table because they don't want to take care of the taxes for it, and I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll put it under me, and I'll just pay the taxes. Problem is, for people that don't know this story, this is why you got to be so careful with Patreon. Any of you out there have a Patreon, you got to be so careful with taxes. True story, very quick, 3 years ago, I was giving everybody their money in cash, and I was taking 15%, putting it aside, like deducting from them to put it towards taxes. So all throughout the year, I had 15% put aside. This way, at the end of the year, when it's time to do taxes, I already got 15% of the income. We could pay the taxes, no problem. I don't get hammered. Well, because of my real job at the office and the money from Patreon, and since everybody got their money under the table, the Patreon and my office money combined put me in a different tax bracket. So the next thing I get a letter in the mail, I owe the IRS $15,000. So I go back to the people I do the shows with at the time. I'm fucked. $15,000. I got them to chop it down to, I think, $3,000 or $4,000. I had to pay it all. After that, I was like, nope, W-9s, whatever, W-2s, fuck that. So do not get into that trap but again, when I do giveaways, I do it so people enjoy it. I don't have to give away such good shit. I could give away, T-shirt, and that's it. How many people on Twitter? Hey, we're going to have a contest. Here's the rules. You got to follow me. You got to retweet me. You got to do this. You got to do pretty much everything except for blow me. And in return, I'm going to give away a sticker. I watch some people with these contests. Oh, you got to follow me, retweet me, do this. And I'm giving away a shirt. Nah, man, we give away collector's boxes. We give away Focos. I like being a little Santa Claus like Mick Foley sometimes. So anyway, let's do the contest, shall we? Now, what I'm about to do is I'm going to put on the screen the synopsis from last week's show. And there is a program that you'll see me select, and it's going to randomly choose someone. And whoever it is, like I said, you got about 5-10 minutes to just go in the chat room and claim your prize. Now, maybe we'll do a little teaser one first. Should we? All right. So let me do this. Let me go over here. Give me 1 second. I know it's going to look a little messed up for a second, but okay. Now you could see the mouse. Obviously, I'm live. Right now, it's 11:11 p.m. I don't want anybody to think that this is a video pre-recorded. See me, I'm highlighting the top where it says Q&A and all that stuff. So you see this red box on the left. I got my mouse there. I'm going where it says pick a winner. And all we're going to do is randomly, we're going to hit this button and it's going to randomly select someone. Now, we could do it for practice, but we don't need to. The Hayes effect. Thriving addict That is the random comment. So, Thriving Addict, if you are in the chat room, let's pull out of this. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's pull back up the chat. So, Thriving Addict, if you are live, you got about 5 to 10 minutes. You have until 11:20. And just say, I'm here to claim my prize. That's why I say, don't even try to create a fake profile, everyone, because the avatar, trust me, we know how to match it up. So if he is not here to claim his prize, then we will choose someone else. And that is the same rules as next week. So if you want to be part of next week's contest, after the show is over, post a comment in the section. And you have all week to post a comment. I will remind everyone, do not post more than one, or you can, but it does not increase your chances of winning. So I hope Thriving Addict gets it, because a lot of you that don't know who that is Robert William Curl. If you remember last week, I talked about a YouTube channel that was created that talks about addiction, and he has actually said that a lot of things I said in the past really inspired him to deal with his addiction and beat it. Now, I don't have that kind of power. Robert William Curl is the one who cured himself, and he deserves all the credit. It is humbling to have someone say that to me, but that is him. So it's kind of like pretty cool that, we can kind of give him something in return. I feel bad if he's not here to claim it. So we'll wait a couple of minutes. Let me answer some quick questions in the chat room. If you have like a quick question, something that I can answer, like rapid fire in a couple of seconds, post it. Just understand that, it's got to be something fast for me to answer. So, and there's like an 8-second delay, everybody. So for those on audio only, if I don't answer it right away. So, Near Faye, I said I'd explain why. Okay, Near, just to summarize it, I always talk about peace also, and a lot of stuff going on overseas. I mean, I watch it from afar, but it is very complicated to get into that on these shows as a weekly thing. How you really push peace is how everybody treats everybody. And we're not going to change the world, but everybody who is here, you have a great time, you get along. You don't have to agree with each other, but by everybody just having a wonderful place to talk, be themselves and relax and not have to worry about people trolling them and stuff like that, that is the ultimate segment that we could do every week. So, but not a bad idea, my friend, seriously. Definitely something that I could talk about once in a while. Iron Sheik, thoughts on Andrew Cuomo? Good. Goodbye. I started falling out of favor with politics about a year before the election last year. There was a lot of things that I didn't like about Trump anymore. And I see what they did with this virus. I mean, they fucked people's heads up. They did not want to give Trump any credit for this, vaccine. And at the same time, Trump was pushing it out there because he wanted the vaccine to be out there before the election, because he thought he would win the election just because of the vaccine. And then you got people out there, very important people. I don't trust it. I won't get it. I won't take it. I don't trust it. I don't this. And people listen. A lot of people have been asking me, do I think Trump was involved with the January 6th, riots that happened in Washington? And I always say the same thing. I say no. But he gave this aura that he doesn't give a shit anymore. If the country is going to go a certain route, then, fuck it. That's the feeling I got from him. And you can't do that when you're president. No matter how much you're upset about this country and upset about, people insisting on going a different direction or doing this, that you can't turn around and just sit back and tell everybody, nothing. And then when it goes down, everyone stop, go home, go home. He didn't instruct them to go to that building, but he didn't do anything to stop it either. And I'm just fed up with politics. I looked at Trevor Noah and all these other people gushing over Cuomo a year ago, and look at them now. Look at them now. I mean, it's just, you truly do not know who people are. And you can't get it from looking at afar and from social media. Some of the nicest people that you come across on social media are the most shady motherfuckers imaginable. When you see people in Hollywood really, 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 really obsessively speaking out about speaking out, me too. A lot of those, especially men, are the biggest culprits of it. And the more they do that, the more it like crushes, the guilt of this stuff. That's their way of repenting. But people out there don't know that they're repenting. They think that they're just trying to help women. But meanwhile, they were the biggest culprits. I don't trust you. There's people out there that fraud. I just stay away from it all. I will say one thing about Cuomo, and I mentioned this on Patreon. I didn't get a chance to say it here. I kind of brought this up before. When he talks about Italian and he talks about giving people a hug and a kiss on the cheek and this and that I believe, because I do it, my family does it, my grandparents did it, my friends that I know since childhood are Italian. We give each other, guys, kiss on the cheek. Everybody hugs. There's nothing sexual behind it. But the allegations with the trooper and him, trying to, I believe all that. So it's one thing, you say hello to someone, it might come off as a little creepy, but that's how you were brought up, so you see nothing wrong with it. That I believe. But the other stuff, I do believe that he sexually harassed some women. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, is Christian winning the Impact belt tomorrow? No. Let me tell you why Christian is not winning the Impact title. In my opinion, Kenny Omega's been the champion for almost all of 2021. It has not helped Impact in the ratings at all. You had the opportunity to give it to Rich Swann. Actually, no, I take that back. You had the opportunity to give it to Moose. Eddie Valentino. Much love, my friend. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you. Shout out to you, my friend. You had the opportunity to give it to Moose. Rich Swann, I could understand. I don't think Rich Swann was cutting it as heavyweight champion. But when the ratings were not budging, and you have more and more Impact fans saying, I don't like that AEW's all over my TV. It gives this impression that your own promotion is not good enough to have a heavyweight champion. Yes, the storyline is that Kenny Omega won the belt and he's kind of hijacked it. But this is why you got to be so careful when you have so few viewers like Impact does. You got to be careful to try to please as many of your viewers as possible. And when they had Moose going for that title, I loved when people said, well, Moose didn't re-sign a deal yet. Well, Kenny Omega's not signed to a deal with Impact Wrestling, yet he's been a champion for 7 months or whatever it is. He's not under Impact contract. But yeah, he's a champion. But Moose is in the greatest shape of his life. Moose has been one of the biggest stars in Impact Wrestling, and you finally have a match with him, and then you do some weird shit where it's a Daily's Place with no fans, and he loses. All right, you fucked that up. Now you got Sami Callihan. And we're thinking, okay, that's different. But Sami Callihan, it's almost like what Sami Callihan to Impact is. Sami Callihan to Impact is what Tommy Dreamer was to the original ECW. All right, Sami will take the title off of Kenny Omega. And they do this horrible storyline online where every wrestler in Impact Wrestling, I know I've said this before, but every wrestler in Impact Wrestling is on social media to Kenny Omega, you have our property, we want it back. So you do a no DQ match. And none of those people in Impact Wrestling bother to come out and do whatever it took in storyline for Sammy to win that belt. Now, they were all in the back in the parking lot having a barbecue. They were all having a barbecue. They were roasting a pig. They were at the ice cream truck. They were eating sausage and peppers. Somebody put X-Lax in everybody's food, and they were all in the bathroom taking dumps. How do you do a storyline like that? And then almost everybody who tweeted, you have our property, we want it back, and they don't come out in a no DQ match. So you're going to give Christian the belt, who is not contractually signed with Impact Wrestling? Get that fucking title on an Impact wrestler. No, I don't believe you should give it to Christian at all. Hell no. And I'm looking forward to the match yesterday. Sam, you say it's going to be Eddie Edwards. They said that about Moose. They said that about Sammy. Eventually, somebody's going to be right. But me, in my opinion, I think the damage is done. I think the damage is done. You realize how much they invested in this storyline, and it's generated a lot less than what people are claiming to say. Again, to this day, you had nobody in Impact Wrestling reveal that pay-per-view buy rate, where everybody else said it was 8 times bigger than a usual pay-per-view or the last pay-per-view. Everybody else had those numbers except for Impact Wrestling. You know, if I have a company and I do some crazy-ass good business, I tell the world. Impact Wrestling, if they got 8 times the pay-per-view buy, don't you think they would have put a press release up and bragged to the world and keep bringing it up? Everybody else talking about it except for them. These are the same people that gave you the Keith Lee shit for the last 7 months, by the way. Chris Salima, favorite event that I have ever been to? Wrestling you're talking about? Oh boy, wrestling. Man, I mean, it's different things for different reasons. Hogan winning the belt. Not because I'm on TV, you know, when Hogan came out. I'll answer you near in a second. In fact, I'll answer some super chats in a moment. Then we'll take calls and then we'll get out of here. When Hogan took on the Iron Sheik, you know, I was privileged to go. I had gone to a few Garden shows. My mom let us go to the city. We would take the train. We were very young. And I went with my friend Vinny and my friend Rob and my friend Joey. And my friend Vinny was on my shoulders. And I know I've told this story 1,000 times, Max Caster, Snowflake Slayer. That when Hogan came out, my friend Vinny was on my shoulders, went like this. You could see me, you could see him. And it was epic. The noise in that building that night, for about 10 years, I had in my wallet. The Daily News the next day had in fact, I don't even know if it was the next day. It might have been the day after that because it was late. But either the next day or the day after, the Daily News posted the results from the Garden when Hogan beat the Iron Sheik for the championship. And I cut it out and I put it, you know, in the wallet where you usually put the license, the plastic, you know, and I kept it there for about 10 years. I mean, I switched wallets from time to time, but I had it and then it just broke apart and I threw it away. So I'm sure if you do a Google image search, you'd see that. So let me answer a couple of super chats. In fact, let me do this. It's a little more organized that way. It just looks a little bit better. Steve Joseph. DT, I thought you said Cuomo was Teflon. I honestly thought this guy was going to fight and fight and fight. If you remember about 3 weeks ago, I said that, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he said, look, for the better of New York State and to, you know, I'm going to step aside. It's just I honestly did not think he was going to do that for the simple reason that you'd be surprised how much support he had in New York. The COVID tragedies and the nursing home stuff is horrendous, awful. And it's no excuse for it. Afterwards, it seemed like things got a better grasp. Honestly, in my opinion, if you ask me point blank, why do I think Cuomo stepped down? Because I think he thinks they're going to file criminal charges against him. I think that aspect of it, because it wasn't just impeachment that he was facing, because he could have said, I'm a fighter and I'm not going to quit on New York and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and help everybody get out of this and blah, 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 blah. I think when the writing was on the wall that he could be facing criminal charges. And, you know, look, you're innocent until proven guilty. But if he anticipates criminal charges being filed, you do not want to do that and be mayor at the time as well. Or governor, excuse me. So I think that's why he stepped down, to be honest with you. Cruiserweight, thank you again. I mentioned it before. And yes, Willie Urbina, not Hugo Savinovich. Trust me, a lot of people out there corrected me. And hey, if I'm wrong, tell me. Harris B, thank you for giving me the news early about Dominic DeNucci passing away. I don't want anybody to super chat this, but how old was he? I mean, obviously, I can't do research now. He had to have been 75, 77. Anybody know how old Dominic DeNucci was? 89. Boy, I was off. God bless him. That's why I say, I hope I live to be 79. Seriously. 89. God bless him. God bless him. He outlived the expiration date. So, yeah, much love. Much love, Dominic DeNucci. Crazy Cruiserweight. Nothing against me, honestly. He knows who that certain snowflake is. This person was calling him out again. Yes, I know what you're talking about because he threw that remark at the end. See, look, again, I am a jerk. Many times I'm a jerk. I'm no innocent person. When you decide to take it personal and start calling someone a racist, redemption tour, trying to buy people and this and that, I don't tolerate that. Seriously. I mean, you know, no, I don't tolerate. I don't care who it is. I think I've kind of proven myself that, you know, I mean, I stopped doing business with a bunch of people because of stuff like that. Yeah, I will be an asshole and I will call people goofs and stuff like that, but I certainly don't accuse people of being like some outrageous, horrible shit. And making it look like you're doing something wrong because you're just trying to give back a little bit and have a good time. And so I'll never apologize for that. Nero Fay, he's thinking about doing his own podcast. Any tips? Yes. If you're going to do audio, make sure your audio sounds good. Make sure the audio sounds good. You could be the most charismatic person out there. If it sounds like shit, people, especially in 2021, people are not going to tolerate it. Anybody can have a podcast right now. Anybody. I see 5-year-olds on YouTube doing podcasts with mics and everything. Sure, parents turn everything on, but good quality audio. Know your programs, your software. Know how to operate everything. Because there are people out there that still to this day don't know how to do anything as far as a podcast, and they have to depend on others. And look, me back in 2005, I think it was, or 2004, I didn't know how to do any of it. So I paid this guy, Chris Cash, to host my podcast, webcast at the time. You do start out not knowing anything, but know your shit. Because if something goes wrong, technical-wise, you got to be able to figure it out. Because trust me, I can't tell you, and I've been doing this for almost 25 years, And even now, when I first started going video, some of you were out there to witness it. Things would go wrong and you'd see the sweat pouring down on my face and I could not figure out what was causing this or causing that. Now, if there's this audio issue, I know it's pretty much 3 things. Boom, reset. Know how to do yourself. Do not depend on others. Other people want to give you some help. If you trust them, embrace it, accept it. But do not replace that for knowing your own stuff. Always be in control for yourself and always do your own thing without the need of others. Because sooner or later, other people are not going to be there for you. And when they're not there for you, you got to be able to still and be reliable. Be reliable. Be authentic. Be yourself. A lot of people out there are not authentic. They'll take a narrative or a style or an attitude that gets them the most viewership. If that's what you want, then go for it. But in my honest opinion, be authentic. You may rub some people the wrong way. This is advice for anybody out there. This is just my opinions. You may rub some people the wrong way. You may have some views that people despise. But 9 times out of 10, at the end of the day, those people will respect you for taking a viewpoint and sticking with it. Nothing wrong with taking a view that a lot of people can't handle that. Scorpio, shout out to you, my brother. I'll answer yours in a sec. Much love, my friend. Everybody could see it on the screen. Thank you for that. Be authentic. Be yourself. Take a viewpoint and stick to it, no matter how popular or unpopular it is. And one more thing. Listen to your audience. If your audience does not, you can't do it just to do it. You can't do it to feel relevant. You have to pay attention to your audience. Talk to them, not talk at them. And what I mean by that is that if nobody tuned in to today, right now, if nobody tuned in to this episode at all, would I have said the very same things that I've said tonight? No. I would have mentioned Keith Lee and I would have definitely mentioned Johnny Gargano. And maybe that guy also, just to basically tell him publicly that, if you want to be man enough to apologize, I don't mind unbanning, giving people a second chance, but you're going to really go that dirty? No problem. I don't take it from nobody. But you can't just talk about whatever you want to talk about because it's easy. And you can't just talk about whatever you want to talk about so it makes it so you're just out there. There are so many people that do shows that does not listen to their audience. You'll always get 10, 20, 30 people that'll agree or like what you put out there, but you got to pay attention. Why do you think I got rid of almost all my politics talk? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the biggest complaint that people were saying is, fucking guy will not stop talking about politics. And I heard you. And it was not easy for me to get that out of my system. But then, I got it out of my system and then I started hating politics myself. But, that's the thing. I'm not going to mention names. People try to throw other people's shows in my face. Whether they're bigger on YouTube than me, even though, like I say all the time, 80% of my audience does not access the video part of the shows. But on the flip side, people will be like, oh, blah, blah, blah's got a show. Or what do you think about this person having a show? What do you think about this person? Oh, that person said something about you. Or what do you think about this? Or this person go through a day. And I look and they got 50 downloads. 50. And I'm going to waste my time talking about someone with 50 downloads, where here it's 1,000 times more when you add video and audio only. It's not worth it. If you want to do it to have fun, go for it. If you don't care if your audience is one. Go for it. And yes, you got to be passionate. You got to be passionate. By the way, that Pac-Man in the chat is not the same Pac-Man. We have more than one Pac-Man here. So I don't want anybody to see this Pac-Man in the chat and get angry at him. That is not the same person from I was talking about earlier. But you cannot ignore your audience. Your audience will tell you what to talk about. They won't say, Near, talk about this. You could feel it in the chat room. And the one thing that I noticed over the last year plus is a lot of people who tune into these shows want some real talk. Want someone to give some clarity to things. It's very easy for me to go in the same direction and just bash WWE and blame WWE for Keith Lee being off TV the last 7 months. It could have been one of the most outspoken people and probably got a whole shitload of attention from it. But no, I wanted to be honest and tell the truth. It's not a bragging thing, not patting myself on the back, but I notice a lot of you out there want some real conversation with these shows. I brought this up before. Mish feels that I am way too much of an open book. And that's not a negative thing of what he's saying. He's right in a lot of cases, but who else out there gets this personal with you? At the end of the day, I am just as much of a regular person. I used to always use the term, I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. And I've brought up many examples in the past. DT, how come you didn't do Johnny Candido's documentary on Chris Candido? A lot of people, know this already. A lot of people don't. That beautiful tribute, that documentary that Johnny Candido did for his brother Chris. He contacted me privately and said, I want you on in the movie. And I said, why? And he said, I want you to tell some of the personal stories of Chris that nobody knows that, you experienced yourself. And I said to him, nobody wants to see me. I'm a nobody. And he's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nobody wants to see me. I didn't do it. I regret it. And I regret not having him on sooner because we were going to talk about his book. And it's just things got so crazy here and I haven't talked to him. But there's been other times I brought up Chiller Convention. When I did that thing with Vinny DeGuido as the Deli Man thing, he told me a couple of times over the years, DT, come to the Chiller Convention. I get you a table. Go as Deli Man. I don't want to go. Why not? Who wants to see me as Deli Man? I'm a nobody. DT, it's a character. People will get a kick out of it. You bring the salami, bring Italian bread, this and that. You just no. And I didn't do it. So I love doing this. And I love doing it for all of you out there. And as long as I can physically and mentally still do it and it doesn't interfere with my personal life too much, I will continue doing it. So that's the advice I would give each and every one of you out there as far as podcasting. Oh, and one more thing. And Scorpio, I promise you, give me a minute. This is the most important thing. Besides being authentic, besides being consistent, you're going to have episodes where you're going to have almost nobody tuning in. You can't pack your bag and go home. Every episode I do, I try to do to my ultimate potential. I'm not a professional, but I try to, I don't ever wing it. And just one of the most important things too is do not do it for money. Do not do it for money. It's no secret that for the first 20 years of me doing this, every dollar that was spent for streaming it live, hosting it live, hosting on downloads, website, bandwidth, software, prizes, merchandise, paying designers, every dollar was put on my credit cards. Every dollar. We did a GoFundMe about 5 years ago, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. We did a GoFundMe because I couldn't handle that expense anymore. What it cost in 2000 is much different than now. In 2000, we had, 100 people tuning in? 50, 100? Cost $40. Not a big deal. And you then go to 1 million downloads a year, 2 million downloads a year. I think right now, I'm almost at 39 million, but that's obviously over 20 years. The first 10 years, I think probably 2006 is really when seven, I think is when things started to really pick up. The bigger you get, the more expensive it gets. And the problem with today is too many people start a podcast, and before they even get 5 episodes, hey, everybody, join my Patreon. Hey, everybody, if you want to send a donation, here's my email address. Not even 5 episodes in, hey, everybody, give me money. Hey, everybody, I got a tragedy. Hey, everybody, I do all this worthy shit. Give me money. Because if you have that mindset, then it'll fail. You got to do it because you love it, because you enjoy it, because you're authentic, because you connect with everybody who tunes in. And sooner or later, you get that support. You earn it. You earn it. Nobody owes anybody anything simply because they do something. There's no joke. There's thousands of Virgils in podcast land. There's thousands of Virgils. Hey, I did a podcast. Everybody makes fun of Virgil. Just being in subways. Hey, NWO, Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man. You want me to sign this for you? Yeah, it's cool. Holy shit. Oh, here you go. Give me $10. What are you talking about? You think I'm going to sign this for free? But I didn't ask for it. He said, you want an autograph? $10. That's why Virgil has nobody sitting at that table. That infamous photo of Virgil. There's more than one, by the way. Everybody makes fun of Virgil, but you got thousands of Virgils in podcast land. It's not just wrestling. People start and they think, I was having a conversation with Mish not too long ago. There is a female who does a podcast, and she does video. And, she started, and she wasn't getting many viewers. And just long story short, she decided, show chest, cleavage, put on loads of makeup. Totally killed her podcast. Instead of doing it because you enjoy it, it's like wrestlers. They give you 100% effort, whether there's 10,000 people in the building or 100 people in the building. That's why Adam Cole gets cheered no matter how much of a heel he is. That's why others get the support they do. You got to be yourself and be committed, and don't think you're going to break the bank simply because of it, because 9 times out of 10, it ain't happening. It's not happening. And for 20 years, I don't say it to rub it in anybody's faces, but it's just a fact. Mish and I could have bought brand new BMWs with the amount of money that we put in for the shows for 20 years. So now, thank God, bills are being paid, and, it's really, it's everything is just beautiful, going well. And that gives me the incentive. It's not just about making money. It's not that at all, but it gives me the incentive like, hey, that many people enjoy this. How do you not get excited for it? I tell Mish sometimes, I said, because he says to me sometimes, DT, I talked to you a half an hour before we went live on Monday, and you were yawning. You sounded like you were half dead. And then we do the show, and you act like you're on drugs, like with the energy. And he's like, how do you do that? And I said, every time I do I know this is going to sound cheesy and cliche, but it's true. Every time I do a show, about 5 minutes before I do it, unless I'm stressed out and I'm behind and I'm trying to get it, but if I'm prepared and I'm ready to go, 5 minutes before I start, it reminds me of Christmas Day when my mom says, now you could open your presents. It's like 5 minutes before I could go run downstairs from my old house and open presents. It's like every time I do this, it feels like a holiday. Having all of you tune in, whether you're live or on the recording later on, the fact that you're hanging out at all, it's special. That's special. I don't take it for granted. And in 2021, that's a very cheesy, weird thing to say. And that's why I hate so much of what's going on online. That's why I talk about, I'm not in any crusade because I'll lose that crusade. I'm a one-person army, and all of you are with me on this, but you just want to be entertained. You don't want to be on any missions. Worry about yourselves in your inner circle and enjoy yourselves. So anyway, let's take some calls. Before I do that, just a few additional shout-out super chats. Scorpio1117 has said this before jokingly, but he feels like Triple H is going to leave WWE, especially after the NXT releases. I got into this a little bit yesterday. WWE is a publicly traded company. They are a billion-dollar company. Investors want to know when there's any executive changes in the company. Someone gets promoted, someone gets demoted. Someone gets fired, someone gets hired. Investors, whether they own 10 shares of stock or 100 shares of stock or 1,000 shares of stock, they want to know what is going on. If Triple H was demoted a year ago, the first people who would have been made aware of it are the investors, not jackoffwrestling.com. And that is my response to it. Is Triple H frustrated? Yeah, no question. I don't doubt that at all. Just imagine him, Shawn Michaels and others, building a storyline for Bronson Reed. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Fuck, we can't do it. They just released him. Triple H has been working there for 25 years. Triple H, pardon my pun, knows how to play the game. Nothing that's happening is any different, but it must be frustrating for him to want to push certain storylines and then they get thrown on major hold because of a release. But that also could be thrown on hold because of injury. That could be thrown on hold because of a wellness suspension. There's a lot of reasons why things get screwed up. But again, you read these news reports online and it sounds like it makes sense. It sounds very believable. It sounds very credible. Look at, please, sometime tonight, go to my Twitter, please, at DonTonyD, and look at the tweet, the Pepperidge Farm tweet that I said earlier about Keith Lee. Just click on that link. Something tells me they're probably going to delete the article. But click on that link and look in capital letters the real reason why Keith Lee was pulled from Elimination Chamber. It's complete with quotes from Meltzer. Big quotes. None of it was true. At the time, everything that was written sounded like it made sense. Meanwhile, when you go back and you look at that, you realize that Keith Lee is trying to fit himself inside an MRI because his heart is all fucked up. Man, did they get it wrong. So once again, this Triple H stuff sounds like it makes sense, but some reason it's never told to the investors for a year. Don't believe everything you see online. I don't think Triple H leaves. I don't think so at all. Why would he leave? It's business. It's not personal. You know, I mean, I don't mean to sound morbid, but Vince is not going to be around forever. So when Vince is gone, Triple H is probably going to be the second or third most powerful person in that company if it's not sold. So, you know, I just wouldn't buy into everything you read online. A lot of it is guessing. Look at those quotes on that article I posted earlier, and it was all incorrect. I don't want to say a lie, because, and I'm being respectful to Dave Meltzer right now, especially. I've been subscribing to his newsletter forever. I love Meltzer's work. I'm one of the few people like Meltzer and Vince Russo. But, you know, sometimes people tell him incorrect things. He's not lying. He's not making up statements. That's what some people tell him. And they end up being wrong. You know, so he probably is going to reevaluate some of the people that he trusts with connections. So that does happen. But when you have people capitalizing real reason when they don't have sources themselves, you know, that's even worse. AS7607, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing better. We're about to hit the weekend. Looking forward to it. By the way, tomorrow night, in case you're not aware already, 10 to 11 p.m., we're going to do an AEW watch-along of Rampage. So if you'd like to join me, I will have the chat room up like I did earlier. And we'll chat Rampage as it goes down. Some big matches scheduled, maybe a surprise or two. And after Rampage is done, from 11 p.m. to midnight, I will be here talking about SmackDown, any news that breaks between today and tomorrow, and maybe we'll get some additional info on some of the things we've discussed already. So anyway, for the last 15 minutes, we're going to take calls. So hopefully I answered some of your stuff already. Again, I don't mind who calls in, but like I always say, you know, just keep the questions to the point so we could turn over as many as we can. And, you know, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but, you know, don't have to call in just to call in. That was one of the reasons why I stopped calls many years ago, because some people would call in, hey, what's going on? Nothing. Oh, what do you want to talk about? Oh, I saw Raw tonight. Good show. Great. And I try not to be disrespectful, and disconnect with anybody. So, all right, let's put the number up. There you go. 225-366-8669. Or if you need a toll-free number, 833-366-8686. Oop. To the person with the area code that began with 66, my apologies. I actually hit stop by mistake, so my apologies. If you call back again, hopefully you don't get bounced. I'll connect you right away. Let's see. Is it? Yeah, okay, we got him. Or her. Good evening. You're on. Who's this?
What's up, you tease me, Blazing Bolts? How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Not much, man. Just enjoying the show.
Good, good. Glad you're enjoying it. You know, fun stuff to talk about tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to say shout out to Tanahashi for stepping up for Ibushi for that Tokyo Dome show, like on short notice. So just wanted to, give him his props.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent. You know, see, when AEW teased the Forbidden Door, with him a couple of weeks ago, it was cool and everything, but take notice, nothing has happened since on AEW. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like, I don't think there's any Forbidden Door. I think because of COVID, everybody agreed, like, we got to, scratch each other's back a little bit, try to help each other get through this and go to the next level. So, it was cool, good for him. I just would like to see him on US TV a little bit more, preferably AEW.
I see. I get your point.
Yeah.
Yeah, DT, I just have two quick questions because I know, it's late.
Absolutely.
I live in I live in California, so time difference is a little,
Okay.
different, obviously. So my two questions is, what are your predictions for this Saturday's Resurgence? I'll be in attendance, by the way.
I'm not sure yet. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to get into the card and give my predictions. Are there any particular matches that you're thinking of that you want me to give you some quick predictions now?
Jay Wyatt and Finley. They're gonna.
I tell you the truth.
They're gonna fight for the never open weight championship.
No, I know. I tell you the truth. I like David Finley. I think he's great. But Jay White is just on a different level. You know, I mean, his stuff that he's been doing on Impact Wrestling, that is like one of the biggest buzzes that everybody is talking about. So I tell you, as far as what everybody is talking about, I think that match, obviously, they want to know who Moxley's mystery partner is going to be. Who do you think Moxley's mystery partner is going to be?
Even though I'm not a fan of the guy, and I think it might be. I thought it was going to be Shota Umino, but since due to visa situations, he couldn't make it. But I think it's going to be the guy who fought Jericho with the domino situation. What is it?
Oh, Nick Gage?
Yeah, that guy.
Be interesting. I think it might be him. I tell you the truth, I originally thought that maybe Eddie Kingston would have teamed up with him. I mean, I almost feel like it should be an AEW guy, but Nick Gage would be a pretty damn good choice. Pretty damn good choice. But getting back to before, I like David Finley, but I think just Jay White right now is on a different level, and I think Jay White is going to go out on top on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate your perspective.
Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow for the second hour of the show, I'm definitely going to give some quick predictions for the card. Definitely going to bring it up. I mean, it's going to be a loaded show, and I expect a few surprises to go down as well. And it's nice to see, them finally getting a little bit of, exposure in California, and you're going. So, I mean, I can tell you that a lot of people are talking about it, and it's going to be a top-notch show. Are they forcing everyone to show proof that they're vaccinated?
Well, for me, when I got my ticket, even before I bought my ticket,
enforced.
It was said on because they have a Facebook page for the event. It said, people that attend the event must wear a mask at all times, even if they're vaccinated. You could take it off, like if you're eating a hot dog or drinking a lemonade, for example.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, if that's the sacrifice to have an epic show right now, it's worth it. It's worth the sacrifice. Have a great time. I
really appreciate that, DT.
Yeah,
I really do, especially from you. Thank you. And then my second question.
Yeah.
Real quick. Kenny Omega. This version of Kenny Omega, I do not know who he is. I became a New Japan fan because of him and his matches with Okada. That's how I got introduced to the Bullet Club, as a fan. And I can't recognize him. This isn't the Kenny Omega that I know. I'm not a fan of him anymore. Ever since he left New Japan, that's the last time I ever saw Being the Elite as well. His last match was against Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom for the World Championship. And I'm like, what happened to Kenny Omega? Has he lost his killer instinct ever since he left Bullet Club in New Japan? Because think about it, DT. In New Japan, he fought against Ishii, Jay White, Okada, Naito, Ibushi. And now in AEW, it's not to be mean, but I'm like, is it because he doesn't have the killer instinct, or is it because of the quality of opponents? What do you think, DT?
I'm going to say something that people are going to get angry at. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, I want everybody to remember what I said in December of 2020, that I think Kenny Omega's #1 goal was to be the Wrestler of the Year for 2021. And I do still believe it's either going to be Kenny Omega or Roman Reigns. And the only reason why I'm leaning towards Kenny Omega still is because of the amount of belts that he has, and he's working multiple promotions. So again, I sing high praise for Kenny Omega, but, and this is what I'm going to say, it's going to piss people off. I think Kenny Omega, for the last 6 months especially, has turned into a sports entertainer. Looks like a sports entertainer. Even his promos and vignettes, you know, it just feels like a promo that would be said in WWE, you know, doing skit. They're heels. So I expect them to do what they're doing, and they're doing a great job with it. But unfortunately, in the same process, they're being sports entertainers. You know, they're getting under people's skin, but they're getting under people's skin by being sports entertainers. And honestly, that might be the right formula for AEW, because AEW fans don't want as much sports entertainment. So if you're going to be a heel and you're going to be an elite heel, then let's be what they hate. That might be their mentality. But to me, Kenny Omega looks like a sports entertainer more than a former superstar New Japan pro wrestler. That's how I interpretate Kenny Omega right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate your perspective, DT, and I could definitely see your point, because I remember when he fought in the G1 against Ishii beat Omega, and he left him with a bloody lip, with a busted lip. I'm like, man, Kenny Omega gave it his all, and I don't see that from Kenny Omega anymore. Like, I don't see that killer instinct Kenny Omega, but you may be right. Maybe, you know, he's a sports entertainer.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
All
well,
right,
thank you, DT. I don't want to take too much of your time. You know, take care, okay?
Have a good night. Thanks for calling in. Enjoy the show Saturday. Enjoy it.
Thank you. I'll definitely share some pictures on Twitter with you.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Take care, my brother.
All right, AD. You too. So sweet.
Yeah, Kenny Omega, I think that's the point. Let's also remember, Kenny Omega does a boatload of work behind the scenes. Guy's probably tired, too. You know, I mean, it's not like you hang out at the hotel, you show up at the building, you work on the match, you're done, you take a shower, you go out with your friends after, go out to eat, you go home, you go to the hotel. This guy has a lot more responsibilities in AEW, so that might be the happy medium, being a heel sports entertainer and also work your ass off behind the scenes. Oh, the prize went unclaimed. That's right. All right. Thank you for reminding me, Lee. All right, so look, check it out. So we're gonna end the show in 10 minutes. So we're gonna give somebody, if nobody claims it in 10 minutes, then maybe we'll just carry it over for next week. Let me pull it back up. All right, let me pull it back up. All right. Here we go. Very easy. Take the call thing off. Yeah, I just realized that never was claimed. Never was claimed. So we go back to pick a winner. And if we did a test run, Chuck Jasmine, if you're live in the chat room, you got to do it fast, my brother. Chuck Jasmine, if he is in the chat room, which means that I have to go back and do this. Is Chuck Jasmine in the chat? So let's take another call while we wait to see. And I'm sorry that we got a little sidetracked tonight, not did as many calls. That's on me. My bad for that. But hopefully we had some, great discussions. I mean, obviously we had some great discussions in the chat. But we'll give him 5 minutes. If not, then we'll pick someone else. Maybe that's how we'll go off the air. Somebody claims the prize, we'll be like, okay, bye. So let's take this off of Do Not Disturb. 833-366-8686 or 225 Don Tony. So if you want to call in, take the Do Not Disturb off. All right, let's see. Is Chuck Jasmine around? I don't know if Chuck Jasmine's around. Looks like he's not. Somebody's probably trying to get in touch with him right now. Good evening, you're on. Who's this?
Hey, Don Tony. Hey, how's it going?
What's going on?
It's Steven from last week.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you doing today?
Pretty good. What's on your mind?
Yeah. I just wanted to talk about. I just had a couple of questions for you.
Okay, sure.
I won't be long.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
My first question was, Bronson Reed, I was a big fan of him, and like I don't get it, Don Tony. He was champion a couple of weeks ago, and he had some dark matches with him and Karrion Kross, and I was thinking in my mind like, oh, maybe we're gonna see him in the main roster, And then last week he gets to let go. Like I was in shock. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure he was in shock too. Look, maybe Odyssey Jones is the new big man that they want to push as a baby face. Maybe Bronson Reed did not impress WWE officials. The good thing about Bronson Reed is we know what he could do, and there's no reason why he can't go back. And, we were talking about it the other day that if they had an NXT, no plans for him, and WWE changed their mind about bringing him into the main roster, maybe Bronson Reed was getting paid too much, and they just felt that we don't want to pay someone to that level and be only on NXT. So, look, he's going to end up somewhere. He's going to kick ass, and he could always end up in WWE down the line. He's a very young guy. We will see Bronson Reed in 2.5 months.
Yeah. Probably we could see him in New Japan, right?
Possible. I think he shows up in NWA or Impact Wrestling. I kind of feel maybe Impact Wrestling would be the way to go. So I think he'll be in the States for a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah. He put out a Twitter video last week. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Right now he really can't say much because he accepted the 90-day no-compete and he's getting paid for it. But in 2.5 months, we will have a good idea where he ends up. He's definitely negotiating with companies right now.
Oh, really? He is?
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to wait 3 months. I mean, he could work out some stuff. He just can't sign and start anywhere else. He can line up a job, but he can't. It's just like you lose a job, but you got severance pay. And if they say you can't work for anyone else for 90 days, he could work out a deal now and say, okay, I just can't start until October. So, yeah, he's definitely talking to companies, without a doubt.
Oh, okay. Well, my second question was, so next week is SummerSlam, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? I was gonna say, like, you have a busy week next week.
It's good.
Do you know why?
Why?
Like, do you think of it like a Mania week next week, or not really?
Yeah, it'll hit me next week. After tomorrow's SmackDown, I'll get the bug a little bit. After Raw, I'll get the bug a little bit. But I've been saying it since April that SummerSlam was going to be this year's WrestleMania. It's going to be a redo of WrestleMania. You're going to have 70,000 fans. It's going to be huge. And all that noise teasing that it could possibly be canceled was another lie by a lot of people out there. It was clickbait. I'm going to enjoy it. We'll have fun. Everybody will have fun, and it's going to be an awesome show.
You're not going to do a watch along, right?
No, not for SummerSlam. No, be too much. Be too much. Okay. Too long.
You think so?
Yeah, it'll be a 4-hour show at least. Yeah, it's going to be a very long show. Everybody better get some good rest the night before.
Okay, that's all I had. Thanks, Don Tony.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Have a good night. And by the way, thank you, Sam. I have the WWE frame of mind on my mind. NXT's no competes are usually 30 days. So Bronson Reed could show up somewhere in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So a lot sooner than we expected. But thank you, Steve. And all right, we did not get someone claiming the prize. So let's go back. We're not going to end the show until we actually got someone to claim that prize. So let's go here once again. Now, we can't have the haze effect because that would just trigger a hell of a lot of people. Here's your pick a winner. Dominic McGlynn. I think Dominic is here tonight. Dominic is one of my biggest supporters. He supports everybody. Dominic is good people. Something tells me Dominic is here tonight. Let's go back here. that is just a little behind the scenes. Let's see if Dominic is here tonight. Dominic McGlynn. Dominic went to bed. Well, we got to be fair and give him a couple of minutes. Kind of feel bad. Look, I mean, obviously a lot of people just sit back. They're not looking at their screen because we don't have the audio only. I've kind of sort of possibly changed my mind about Spreaker. Because the thing about Spreaker is they kind of want you to have exclusive there. And I kind of like the vibe and the mode I'm in right now. And I don't want to start turning things in disarray where everything has to be at Spreaker. And then if I have a problem, I can't go back to what I had before. But I know some of you out there enjoy the shows live and might just be laying in your bed or just doing other stuff and just listening to the show. So, in the case of Dominic or someone else, they might be listening right now and not viewing. So we give him another minute or two. If not, we will pick another winner and we'll see what happens. Dominic, last chance, my brother. Love to give it to Dominic. Dominic is a longtime supporter. He's a good guy. But rules are rules. There's a lot of people who entered and it would be unfair to them. So, Dominic, last chance. Last chance. I don't think Dominic is here. All right. All right, let's bring it back up. Let's bring it back up. No, you know what, Sam? It's already been almost 5 minutes since we chose his name. So let's choose another one and let's see what happens. All right, let's go back here. Now, the reason why I was joking about the Hayes thing earlier is because he won 2 weeks in a row. I knew it would piss off a lot of people. Kevin Milwaukee, another long-timer. Kevin Milwaukee, are you live right now? Awesome Bray Wyatt bobblehead. It'll be yours. Kevin Milwaukee. Is Kevin Milwaukee around? I'd love it to just give it to someone in the chat, but it's unfair because, people participated. We got to be honest with this. Kevin Milwaukee. Let's see. There he is. Contest over. Kevin Milwaukee at 12:15 a.m. has claimed it. Kevin, do you want the bobblehead? Do you want the Bray Wyatt bobblehead? So, again, I don't want to take it out of the package. I mean, I don't want to start disassembling it, but this is what it looks like. It's pretty freaking cool, and it's all ceramic. It's not plastic. Yeah, Kevin says he'll take it. Awesome. It is yours, my brother. Email me, dontony@dontony.com. I don't know if you're on Patreon. If you are, you could DM me there too. Either way is good. I'm the only one that sees the DMs on Patreon. So either way, or email. So good. Sorry for those that were picked earlier. I will do something now. I'll do something now. And honestly, the more I think about this, I think I'm going to do this from now on. 1 hour into the shows, that's when we'll do a contest. Yes, that will cause some people to tune in just at that particular point to see if they win, and then they may disconnect. That's fine. That's fine. If they took the time to post a comment and they decide to stop by for a little bit, then I don't mind that. So from now on, when we do the contest, we'll do it 1 hour into the show. So next week we start at 10:05. By 11:05 next week, we will do the contest. This way because again, I don't want anybody to feel like they got to tune in 2 or 3 hours. It's not fair. It's not fair. I wouldn't want to do that. So from now on, new rule, and we may have to do something where you win a prize. It's like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I mean, you win. But I'm pretty happy that nobody complained about somebody winning 2 weeks in a row. But Kevin, congrats, my friend. Should we take one more call before we go? Let's take one more call. We'll end up about 10 minutes later than I wanted, but still, last week we did 3 hours and 45 minutes, I think. So we're still going to end up 90 minutes less than last week. So I'll take it. We've been right around 2 hours all week. So it's a start. It's a start. Let me pull up so we could now put this back, and we could put this back. 225-366-8669 or toll free 833-366-8686. Do not disturb is removed. So if you want to call in, we'll take one more for tonight. Make it good. I would have liked for you-know-who, the guy that ripped me apart earlier. It would have been interesting if he called in. Good evening, you're on. Who's this?
Yo, DT, this is BC. BC Reviews.
Hey, BC
just started joining your chat again. How you been, brother?
Good, good. Thanks for calling in, and thank you. Thank you.
Oh, for sure, brother. I'm gonna be a pretender here, man. I've been out of wrestling here since about 2013. Just started watching again, and I actually found your podcast. I was, I used to listen to you back in the days. I was a pretty loyal listener back then in the audio-only days with you, Maniac, Kev, and Missionary. I think he goes by Mish now. But really happy I found your guys' show again. I used to, go to the events in Houston, hold your signs up and all that good stuff. And
Awesome,
then,
man.
life happens. We grow up, and I had a son. He's 16 now. He got me back into wrestling. So I'm just kind of making that bridge now to where I'm understanding the new wrestlers and everything like that. But very good show, man. I got to give you props for, working a full-time job and pulling off all these shows because, I do a little bit of streaming myself over on Twitch, but I could never do it to the extent that you do, brother. So congrats on that.
Thank you, my friend. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Having a teenage son who's a wrestling fan also. How is it? Like, is it different, like, as far as the vibe, like, when you were younger as a wrestling fan, or do you, or does wrestling give that, like, nice little special bond between the two where it's something you bounce off? Because for me, when I was younger, my father hated wrestling, doesn't know any of the wrestlers, but baseball, I would bounce back and forth with him. Couldn't do that with wrestling, but how is it?
I love that you asked that question. See, I've coached him in baseball for 10 years now, and he just started playing JV. And I started coaching him in Little League, and now he's in JV. And so we started bonding over baseball, and one day I just figured out, man, this kid's watching wrestling. I was like, okay, but it's kind of not my thing anymore. I was more of an Attitude Era guy. ECW, stuff like that, original ECW. And then I decided, what, let me give this a shot. This is my son. I had a love for wrestling. Let's see where we went now. And I'll be honest, I do like it. Not as much as I did from back in the days of Stone Cold, chair shots to the head. And, one thing I've noticed, and I've been trying to teach this to my son, and correct me if you think I'm wrong here, if you look at football and you see what we call bridge quarterbacks, kind of like, let's say, Tyrod Taylor, and then I see Goldberg coming in as, kind of way past his prime, but he can, still hurt people. I kind of see Goldberg as like that bridge champion where if they don't want to bury somebody too hard, they just kind of bring Goldberg in, does the job, and, it's always under 5 minutes because, he almost killed The Undertaker for the thing that I've seen since I started watching a few documentaries on the Peacock now, from the WWE section. But one thing that I've noticed, and I don't know what this is for, maybe CTE, but the chair shots to the head, I've noticed that's kind of went away. Other than I've noticed they do it a little bit in AEW. Is this just something political, or is this something that just has to do down with some kind of insurance? Because I know you're in insurance, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It's mostly because of concussions and the trauma to the head. I mean, look, I took some chair shots, when I was doing stuff, and I took one that I've showed on video before, and that night I threw up 3 times. And,
oh, wow.
And I had a headache, and it was just one pretty strong chair shot. Now, I had some others that didn't hurt me at all. But the thing is that every time you get hit, it does put like compression to the brain in some way or with the skull. And it's not, the head is not meant to be bashed over, with a chair or anything else. Your head is not meant for that. That you ride a bike, you got to wear a helmet. It's not meant to be hit over the head with a chair. That's why you didn't see this probably, but when Cody first was in the early stages of AEW, there was a chair shot I think Sean Spears gave him. Wasn't it, Cody, everyone? I think it was. And it was so much controversy because of the level of the chair shot. Chair shots in wrestling is very frowned upon now because it's scientifically, it's not good. Even in football, they're very, very concerned about concussions. And we've had some wrestlers over the years with dementia. And, obviously the Benoit tragedy, we'll never know the true reason that put him over the edge. But, there have been wrestlers who have suffered, issues probably because of numerous chair shots. And it was Cody. Yeah, they just want to eliminate as much injury as possible. That's why you really don't see it much anymore. You really don't. You see chair shots to the back.
Yes, I think that. I think they kind of overdo it. Just as a fan myself, transitioning from, you've been a fan as long as I have. I'm 41 myself. Okay. So I think we kind of grew up in the same era of wrestling, transitioning from territory wrestling to WCW, WWE, and the zombie, the TNA that won't die. But, I just, in my opinion, as a fan watching everything, it's just kind of, I feel like if you're going to give a chair shot, okay, the back's fine, but I just feel like they overdo it. But I do enjoy, I was a kind of a proponent of AEW or, kind of skittish on it. But now I'm starting to really enjoy it. I think I was burned. I think the first pay-per-view I ever watched was it was a silly match, even though I liked the character of Orange Cassidy. It was the Orange Cassidy versus Jericho where they had to throw each other into some kind of orange juice pool. Yeah. Which that kind of distracted my attention a little bit because it was kind of a downer for me to watch a new org and then seeing that. But I gave it another shot, and I really did enjoy AEW. And, the way I look at things, I've been watching some other, stuff, and then I read comments and everything, and I just kind of lurk in the chat. But I really feel like AEW could have a shot here. Now, they do have the money, of course. Anybody with common sense knows that they have the money. Is it a mark thing? Is it a business thing? Who cares? Let's be honest. We're fans. And that's the way that I would approach that. But I really feel like certain things that they do, they eliminate the element of surprise. Because if, in my way of thinking, I'm like you, I believe that you're self-employed. I am as well. I'm a business owner. So if I'm going to want to be able to entice my fans to have a surprise, I'll take, for instance, even though that isn't the biggest name, you get Mark Henry, right? Why would they not, even though I know he's not in a wrestling capacity, I understand his help, why wouldn't you want to surprise your fans instead of having him come out, wave, and leave? Yeah. That just takes the shock element out of it that I was so attracted to as being a big wrestling fan, which I feel like I'm becoming now. It's just I hear some of you guys talking about wrestlers that I just haven't caught up to yet and haven't been able to appreciate. But how do you feel about the overall scope of AEW and the way that they kind of differentiate themselves and eliminate, let's take CM Punk. Okay, we have to be realists here. He's a great attraction, a great personality, but he's past his prime. I mean, that's just obvious. Of course, watching UFC, I mean, I give the guy major props. I mean, he put his ass on the line. He went out there, he got his ass kicked, owned it like a man. But I just feel like they just kind of threw that shock factor away that I would be really happy to see, okay, yes, CM Punk debuted in AEW. What the heck? I did not expect that. But they give all these little Easter eggs, like I watched TNA or AEW the other day with my son, and I seen Darby Allin's mention something best in the world. I said, oh, CM Punk's coming. And I'm thinking to myself after I said that, wait, why would I even want to say that? Because I would much rather think, oh, crap, why didn't I watch that show? Because I could have seen CM Punk. I need to get that next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, not too long ago, there was reports online, and this I actually talked about because there was some credibility with it. There were reports online that TNT, would prefer that they didn't do as much in the surprise department and kind of announce it in advance so more people tune in. Yes, it's only 1 week, but if someone is coming in, they kind of would rather it be announced or advertised. But, when Sting came in, we didn't know exactly when he was going to debut. We pretty much had a good idea, and we were pretty close to it, but you didn't know exactly when. Malachi Black, we knew pretty much when he was going to come in, but you didn't know exactly. So in some ways, they actually have still surprised people. With CM Punk, it's the same thing. You don't want fans just thinking that he might show up and then he doesn't, especially when you're going into a pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view is not every single month, so they obviously have to depend on a big pay-per-view buy rate. They don't want that surprise element to be a complete surprise, so they paint a little Easter egg with Darby Allin saying that. I still think maybe Kenny Omega trolls the fans next week and he comes out to CM Punk's music, but they want to please the network, but they also want to keep some element of surprise. So they're trying to find a happy medium between the two. So you will you will know pretty much within a week when CM Punk is going to debut, but the precise moment we probably won't know unless the lights go out or something. It's we're going to know, but they also, at the same time, they want to maximize every week as many viewers as they possibly can. So the element of surprise isn't what it used to be.
It makes sense to me now that you say that, because I'm reverting back to the let's call it the Monday Night War days, where there were 3.5 to 3.8, even 4 ratings, and I have to remember now that a 1.2 is considered a good rating.
Yeah.
1.3. I'm taking a wild guess here. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
But just to move on. Okay. I know you've been a long-time Mets fan. How are you feeling about your new owner with all these signings? And you guys did get my favorite player, Baez. I think you guys are, 5-6 games out of first. So I think if you guys take that first spot, I think a wild card's pretty much a lock if the season goes as planned. And getting past the Dodgers, which looks like a video game team, I really feel like this is the first year that you guys actually have a shot. I'm a huge baseball fan, and wrestling, of course. Football's there too. But I've really been captivated by this owner coming in and just rejuvenating these Mets to do what they've done and the signings, and just, I think that's what it took, is a good owner to come in and said, pull a Steinbrenner and just say, I don't care about the money. We're going to bring a championship home to the Mets. So as a fan, and you have to have been a lifelong fan, am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel about that? I mean, it's got to be a wonderful thing.
I look at it like this. I love a lot of the decisions that they made. I absolutely love the team right now. It's a little sad. I think they said today was the first time since the 3rd week in July that they won 2 games in a row. I think now, at this point, they need to let this team gel. it's very, very difficult. I'm not one that's going to always go back to the 86 Mets, but I'll use them as an example. I have at least 100, 120 games of theirs on DVD from that season. And the one thing from that season is, with the exception of one or two players, you had the same 9 players on the field every single day, for the most part. And you would substitute here and there, give someone a day off here and there. But for the most part, you let that team grow, gel, bounce off of each other. And I think the problem with the Mets is that there's been so many changes and so many shifts and so many movements and so many, substitutions that now they have to give that team a chance to gel and put it together and just stick with it. Not feel like every 2 games you got to change this or put someone here or put someone there. I mean, look, I haven't watched any 86 Mets in a couple of years now, but I can tell you right off the top of my head, Lenny Dykstra led off. Wally Backman was batted number 2. The 3rd was Keith Hernandez. 4th, Gary Carter. 5, Darryl Strawberry. 6, could be Ray Knight or Howard Johnson, or sometimes they put Mookie in that spot. Then you could go down the list and pretty much know each person. Left, it would be Kevin Mitchell or Mookie Wilson. Center would be Lenny Dykstra. Right would be Darryl Strawberry. 3rd would be Ray Knight. Shortstop would be Rafael Santana. Sometimes Kevin Elster towards the end. Second base would be Wally Backman. 1st would be Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter behind the plate. And that's it. You could tune in April. You could tune in August, and you pretty much had the same team. That's what they need to do now. They got to just stick with it and let it develop and gel.
Yeah, and I agree. And even what I felt like they've done, like signing Javi, great move. But do they hold on to him? I don't think they have the room for it. So I just think he's a playoff contention piece, but a damn good one, and not a bad move at all. And I really think that this Dom Smith guy is going to come around within the next couple years, even though he's already going off. I think he's going to come around and become a megastar.
Yeah, it feels it. You could see that there's something there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And not to mention, you guys have pitching now. You got Lugo, you get Rich Hill. I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure you guys got Trevor May. I could be wrong. I don't know if that was the Yankees or Mets, but if it was Trevor May, I'm actually good friends with Trevor May. So, and a terrific person, terrific guy. Okay, I know I'm taking up a lot of your time.
It's cool. Yeah.
But one last question, and this because I look at your Atom Bomb thing there in the back, and what is your personal collection favorite, not most expensive, but favorite item that you own?
Well, I have part of it right here. I've been too lazy to put it away. And I'm sorry for repeating, because I know a lot of you already know the story. Terry Funk is my favorite wrestler of all time. I've met him many times over the years. And just a short story of it, quick. When he went to WWF and was a tag team champion with Mick Foley, for that very short period of time, I went to Philly and hung out with both of them, ate lunch, got to take pictures with them. And then on my way home, that afternoon, Rob Feinstein, our video, was doing a shoot interview. And he told me, he's like, call in at this time and you could ask him whatever you want. It's okay. On my way home from Philly, I got into a road rage incident and, almost got arrested and everything like that. So when I called, I had told Rob and told Terry Funk, I said, look, I'm sorry this, that. I said, legit, almost, got arrested in a road rage incident and everything. So, I did the shoot interview thing, and he knew that I had gotten engaged, to my ex at the time. And long story short, he sent me a whole bunch of custom things. He sent me this back in the day. Had a great time with you in Philly, stay out of jail and all this other stuff. But my favorite is, and you really can't see it, but when I got engaged, he wrote me this letter. to, just tell me like how wonderful marriage is and everything. That's why I felt so terrible when his wife passed away not too long ago. But he sent me a handwritten letter. I have another one inside. I got a couple of shirts that have never been on sale that he sent me, written out to me and everything. He sent me a branding iron. So I got this box one day and I opened it up, and there's like 4 different photos, 3 different shirts, branding iron, handwritten letters. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. And he just
Terry
sent it to me.
He's one of the ones that I'm sure you know the situation he's in now health-wise. And now that you say that, it brings back memories to where about 15, 20 years ago, I went to an autograph session, and I'm the type where if I don't have a VIP pass, I just kind of wait till the end. Mm-hmm. And when I went up to Funk, he was sitting there with a piece of cardboard doodling, and he was drawing himself. And then I looked at it, and I said, I love that. I said, that is terrific. And he said, hey, you want it? And he gave it to me. And it's literally a picture he drew of himself, and he wrote Terry Funk, 8x10, by Terry Funk, and he signed it. And to me, that is like class personified, because the legacy he'll leave behind is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Compared to some of these, what I call new generation wrestlers that don't want to be bothered, but they got to remember who actually makes the paychecks that go into that. Yeah. Their fans are what make them.
Yeah.
So, and I think Terry Funk is one of those that is going to go down as a legend, not only in wrestling, but as a good person, big heart to his fans, and, probably his community as well. But,
awesome,
DJ, I won't take much of your time anymore, man. I really appreciate it. It was good catching up with you, brother.
Same here. Don't be a stranger.
Always, man. I will definitely call in again sometime, man.
Absolutely.
You have a great night, brother.
You too, my brother. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Wow, what a really awesome way to close out tonight's show. I mean, BC Reviews is always hanging out in the chat. And I know, I'm sure he has heard this 1,000 times. Well, actually, maybe not. Unless you saw him on Twitch. He does sound like Conrad. He definitely does. He sounds like Conrad and Jim Ross, like a young Jim Ross combined. And that's not a negative. I'm a fan of Conrad's, by the way. But awesome conversation. Awesome conversation. Great. I mean, I look, everybody that calls in, great stuff. But that's pretty cool, because I know some of you out there, might have a youngin who is a wrestling fan too. Maybe you fell out of love of wrestling for a little while and you're getting back into it. And wrestling, it definitely has changed in 20 years. No question. It's changed over the last 15 years, So great combo. So, yes, we're going to end the show now. Much love, everyone. I can't thank you enough for the support. I really mean that. If I didn't appreciate it, I would not be up here as much as I am. But I thank you all for joining me tonight. For everybody who checks out the show later on, I hope you enjoyed it as well. As I always ask, I usually don't do it during the shows. I probably should. But on your way out, if you could throw a like, hit that thumbs up. That more that's done, the more that tells YouTube that you enjoy the show and they recommend it to others. And if you're around tomorrow night, even if you're not the biggest AEW fan, if you want to stop over here at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 11, we're going to do an AEW watch along of Rampage, the debut. Remember, the first match is going to be Christian versus Kenny Omega. The main event is going to be Britt Baker versus Red Velvet. And then for the second hour, we will talk SmackDown wrestling news, anything that breaks, and also get into the New Japan predictions too, because I know there's quite a few of you that are going to tune in. Of course, Nero Fay, I agree. Cannot end the show without a peace message. I know everybody feels the same. Thank you, Near, and stay safe, as I always say. But everyone, it's been awesome. I thank you. Yeah, there's the extra shout out. I like that we kind of incorporated that onto the shows. But all right, everybody, I'm out of here. Have a great night. And if I don't see you tomorrow, enjoy the weekend and all the best. Be well, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.